Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to today's live session. I'm very excited for the amazing conversation that we are going to have today because you're finally going to learn one skill that can be a superpower in the 21st century. Because we're living in a world where your attention is the biggest currency, where your attention is something that everybody, even the big tech companies, are after. In fact, for one of the big tech companies, attention is such a big and important resource that the competition is not even another company. It is your sleep itself, because the more you sleep, the less time you can spend on their platform consuming content. So we are living in that age right now. We are living in that time where every news headline seems sensational, where every single Instagram post is trying to do its best to capture your attention and to get you to do one thing, and that is to engage, that is to react, that is to take some action. That is why, rather than being a broadcast of normal events now, news has become a way to destabilize you, to make you feel, oh my god, what's happening? Either to make you feel very good, or to make you feel enraged, or to make you feel hopeless, or to make you feel sad, or whatever else it may be. If you look all around your world, people are banking on your ability to how fast you can react. And the more you are building this ability, the more you're giving people this ability of you reacting fast, the worse and worse your life is getting. And that's why the topic of today's session is why neutrality can sometimes be a next level superpower. And if you can learn to tap into it intelligently, if you can learn to strike the balance between when you should be emotionally reactive versus when you should not be, then you can create so much peace, so much clarity, and above all, so much strength and power in your hands that you'll be amazed at the magic you can create. And for that, I just want to let you know one thing. Look at any leader in the world who's had a downfall. Any leader who was once at a great position of success and then he or she just fell off, be it in politics, be it in business, be it in sports, any field. And you'll notice a common pattern. They had moments and they had incidents where they reacted too fast, where they reacted too emotionally, and when they did, they lost their cool, they lost their incentives, they lost their power, and as a result, their downfall got triggered. Their problems got created. So, if you're someone who aims to be a leader in life, which I'm sure you are because you're watching this video, understand this. The biggest tool of influence that other people have over you is how fast you can react, how fast you can say something, how fast you can commit to something. Because the moment you do, then your psychology is aligned to what they want. So let me explain this to you in a quick way. Let's say you're on social media and you're scrolling, and you know, okay, this is something I like, this is something I don't like. And you'll often notice that we've gotten so quick in our reactions that comment sections under the same post will be filled with some of the most beautiful words you could read, and at the same time, some of the most vile words you could read. Like, in fact, when you're reading those words, you'll often wonder, is it really another human being who wrote this about another human being on a platform where they know their friends and family can see their profile publicly? Now, that question, that doubt, often strikes me as odd, but then it does make sense because how is social media structured? It is structured to grab your attention. It is structured not just for you to watch, but for you to react, either comment, share, like, engage, and nothing bad about it. But what that does is, right, it allows the tools of influence to be used over you. Now, one of the most important tools of influence that exists is the idea of creating commitment and consistency. I love this principle that comes from Robert Cialdini's work. And while it's a great principle, there are times and there are situations where people who are aware of this can misuse this and use this against you, which is why you need to be aware of your emotions and you need to be in check. So let's say you're on social media and you see something that really agitates you, something that's a cause and something that's a movement, and you want to connect to it. And you want to be like, okay, cool, this is a big thing. And be it in politics, be it in sports, right? We have all these different ways in which we use social media to express ourselves. Now, we think it's temporary. We think it's just a moment. We think it's just a like, just a comment, just a repost, just a retweet. But that idea of it being just a like and just a repost and just a retweet is what holds us back, because the moment we engage in that action, the signal we have sent our mind is, oh, I align with this side, I align with this perspective, I align with this opinion. And then if there's something that is in disagreement to something that we've already liked, we'll skip over that, because we don't want to be inconsistent, right? So that principle of bringing human beings to consistency and commitment to their already existing stance, that works against you. When you commit too fast, when you react too emotionally, when you say things you don't mean, because then you'll see in social media comment wars, people clearly know they are wrong, yet they'll never change. Why? Same thing, commitment and consistency. So here's something I want you to know: the tools of influence are as effective on you as your lack of emotional neutrality. I'll repeat that again. The tools of influence are as effective on you as your lack of emotional neutrality. If you can't create that distance, if you can't create that space, then my friends, you're at the mercy of people who know how to control and master attention. But if you can take back control, if you can step back, you can save yourself a lot of regrets in life. And I'm going to give you two very simple examples to help you understand this. In our personal relationships, right, the way this plays out, where we don't act neutral, where we react too much, we react too emotionally, we react in a way we really shouldn't, is when somebody disrespects us, when somebody says something we didn't expect, and then we hold on to that grudge, then we hold on to that idea, then we hold on to that vision of how they did us wrong and how they hurt us and this and that. And we end up saying some things that, are definitely not good for the long run. They're only going to spoil the relationship. So here's something I want you to try the next time somebody disrespects you: silence, or respond with kindness. I know your mind doesn't want to do it. I know your mind really, really, really craves. I want to be right. And it's throwing that tantrum in your mind probably right now, but you want to be an adult, right? And you want to deal with challenges. You don't just want to be this person who lets his emotions take the best of him. You want to be the person who can control the room. You want to be the person who can lead the change. And for that, your emotions have to be in check. So I've personally done this in my life. Whenever somebody has disrespected me, right? I've never ever disrespected them back. I've never ever gotten angry. But what I have done is I've been clear, I've been kind, I've been assertive, and through my silence, I've created a distance that is message enough that this disrespect won't be tolerated. This thing that we are taking me for granted won't be tolerated. Now, because of that, you know what's the benefit I get? Nobody can ever say something that is wrong about me. And that doesn't mean I'm, filtering myself. But what I am doing is, by using my emotional maturity, I am avoiding moments of unnecessary emotional stress that can be created in the future. So what I do is, anytime someone disrespects me, be it a friend, be it somebody else, be it even a stranger, I don't react. I'm like, okay, thank you. And then I create my distance. And that silence is an answer enough for them that what we did wasn't right. Because here's the thing: the people who disrespect you are only doing so to evoke a reaction from you. This is the crucial part. If you don't give them the reaction, their purpose of disrespecting you is not fulfilled, because they wanted a reaction so they could get the reaction, then they could use the reaction to further take you down the drain and to extend the conflict. And I'm not saying they're evil people, I'm just saying they're using what they know. But when you break that pattern, when you meet their danger with kindness, suddenly they're lost. Suddenly they don't know what to do and they stumble. And then they'll probably sit there in the silence and the embarrassment of their own disrespect. And they'll realize, oh, what I said wasn't right. You didn't have to do anything. You didn't have to prove a point. You didn't have to say a word. But just by maintaining emotional neutrality, you're neither reacting, neither supporting, You gain the power to control the narrative, to control the direction of the room in that moment. And that's a strength you always want to be able to build. In the professional context, I'll give you an example. I recently had a conversation with somebody who was looking into help with ghostwriting their book. And while I was talking to them, the conversation was amazing. They loved it. And I had an absolute wonderful experience. And I really wanted to help and serve. And while this conversation was going on, they didn't sign up initially for the price that was a very high ticket price, because I know the value I bring in. And I know that the book that was going to be created was going to be amazing, because I don't use AI in my process. I am a writer by skill, and I have created words that transform and influence and change people's lives. No, they didn't say yes. I was like, okay, fine, not a problem. 15 minutes after the call, and it's quite late in the night because it was a Zoom call, I get a WhatsApp call from that same person. I pick it up and they're like, well, I was thinking, you know what we can do? Since I just want to put this out, and this is hurringness, okay? They're creating that urgency. The same way news channels create the urgency that this is the biggest thing in the world right now that you need to be aware of. If you're not aware of this, you don't have any idea what's going on. The same urgency, the same reactiveness that social media works on, the same the trigger to get you to react through any and all tools of influence. Well, that's exactly the situation I was in. So personal disrespect was the first thing. I'll connect back to this right now. How to deal with that? Don't react. Let them sit in the embarrassment of their own disrespect, and they'll realize what they did. And the second way the urgency thing works, the emotional reactions work, is under professional burden, professional pressures. You gotta do this now. This is the only thing, and all that stuff, right? In offices, we encounter this. In sales, we encounter this. Your decisions, your values, your ethics and standards will never be compromised if you can learn to maintain your emotional neutrality. So, coming back to this person, they were putting quite a bit of urgency and pressure on me. And they said, you know what? This is a simple thing. It will be like half a day's work for you. You can get started. I'm giving you like permission to use AI. All that. I'm just listening. I can already see what's happening, right? So they're giving me an explanation after explanation after explanation. And this is how much I'm going to pay you for this. That's about 10% of the big whole project that we were going to do. That was a multi-month project. I have the money now. Send me your bank details. I'll transfer this now. What do you say? So you see that fast speaking, that urgency, all of that's been created. The classic technique, the classic playbook that's used in sales and influence. But because I'm aware of it, I'm not letting that professional pressure act upon me. I'm not letting the incentive, oh wow, just half a day's work and this much payment, get to me. So I calmly replied and I said, thank you so much for the offer. I really appreciate it and I'm very much considering it. But here's something I want you to know where I can share my perspective with you. And they said, sure, yeah, please share your perspective. It would be a disservice for me to do something that's half quality work just for the sake of doing it faster with AI. I've experienced with it. I've done a lot of things with it over the past many years. And I just know in terms of creative writing, it cannot give you the output that human beings can, that human skills can. And this is a project you're going to make. This is going to have your name on it. You deserve something that's better than just something random put together by AI. So as of now, no, I would not like to go ahead with this. Thank you so much. A pretty lucrative offer. I was able to say no to that because it didn't meet my standards, it didn't meet my ethics, it didn't meet the way I worked professionally. Simple reason being, I didn't let my emotional reaction of wow, new opportunity get in the way. Exciting it was for sure. But I want to do it? No. But because I was emotionally neutral, I was able to tap into my own power of making decisions. In today's world, the easiest way to get you distracted, the easiest way to get you off the path is to make you this person who doesn't think for his or her own self, to make you the person who's dependent on other people's emotional reaction, validation, and approval. Take a step back. Don't let it affect you. Be this person who can maintain a stance of emotional neutrality no matter the pressure, no matter the gravity of the disrespect, and you will be the leader who's known for their composure. You will be the leader who's known for taking a stand. You will be the person who can go on and change the world. So here's the steps you begin with. Very first thing, delay your reaction, delay your decision making. Nothing, and I mean nothing in the world is as urgent as people make it seem. I've seen this happen in corporates. Please, this is urgent. It's never urgent. If it is, they'll call you, they'll connect with you. And in that urgent moment as well, panic is not going to help you get the work done. Calmness is going to help you get the work done. Now, that's the first thing. The second thing is disassociate disrespect. Here's what I mean by that. Anytime somebody disrespects you, just know this in your head. It's a reflection of them, not a reflection of you. And it's a trigger being used to provoke you into reacting in exactly the way they want you to react so they can use it against you. Break the game, break the loop. You're worth more than the drama, you're worth more than the time wasted. Just be clear, let them sit in the embarrassment of their own disrespect and you will clear your path. And finally, number three is always embrace kindness and assertiveness. I know your ego really, really, really wants to be right. Your ego really wants to prove a point, but the question is to whom and why? It's futile. It doesn't make sense. It's not going to do anything. Show up, resist, take action, speak up, do whatever you want, but make sure you're doing it from a place of kindness and respect, not a place of disrespect and anger and agony, where somebody can take that very same message and twist it into something you don't want. We live in an attention world. We live in a world that works off of sensation. It's okay to be a sensation in a positive sense. Make sure you don't become one in the negative sense because then that public image remains. So keep your calm, keep your composure, let the person sit in their disrespect. Sometimes it's okay to give back, but there are certain contexts for that. You don't really want to do that all the time. You don't want to be the person who always reacts for the sake of it. You want to keep your power with you, assert in a way that makes sense and is in the context of you. And just like that, this emotional neutrality will become your superpower. I hope these stories helped. I hope these examples helped. And when you're on social media next, just remember, retrain your mind, retrain your attention span to not think of things as that urgent. It's okay. You can disassociate, you can relax. There's no one pointing a gun at your head if you don't engage. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you once again tomorrow at the same time. That is 8:30 p.m. IST. Bye. See you soon.